Hello and welcome to Brendawareness, episode 5. One second, I'm gonna have a sip of my water. I'm Brenda, the host of this show, where I talk about anything that's on my mind. I have read your constructive criticism about my mouth noises and that it sounds like I didn't drink enough water. Well, you try talking to yourself for 40 minutes without making mouth noises. I have my water cup now next to me. This is a new addition to the... Wait, if you're watching this, do you guys like my self-built set? I'm in my man's house and I did a little rearranging. He doesn't know about this. Don't tell him. So I have a water cup next to me now, but when am I supposed to sip the water? It's awkward 2 seconds pause, like just now. Don't we hate that? Because the stick of my show is that it's unedited. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. Do you want to know about my outfit? I'm just wearing leggings the same way as I always do. I have Falke socks on. If you know about Falke, I'm a big Falke girl, but I also love Wolford. And I have Nike, I think they're yoga leggings. I have this amazing little do I say button down or button up? Blouse from Peter Doe, which is so beautiful. I went to a studio yesterday and raided it. I went home with a gigantic gamma bag for stuff to wear this week. I went to an event yesterday at WSA. I'm sure excuse me, this is what happens when I drink also. I burp, I'm sorry. If you follow anyone from New York, in the creative space, I'm sure you've seen the WSA Tower in Water Street, downtown New York. It's the owners of Palm Heights Hotel in Cayman Islands, and they bought, I think, the whole building, and they're trying to make this a creative hub, throwing parties there, hosting dinners, hosting artists with their studios. People have their offices there, so it's this, I don't know if you ever see people post, this picture that's on my Instagram with the footbed that's in there. So they hosted I'm saying little, there was 200 people at dinner there yesterday, and I loaned an outfit from Peter and I felt so confident. And this is the prettiest blouse ever. I think this is maybe this is fall winter 24. I'm not quite sure if this is out yet, but it's so beautiful. And then I have a Bulgari ring on. I don't know if I talked about this. It's one of my favorite things ever. It's from the B0 line. It's supposed to look like the Colosseum, and it moves. You can squish it together. It's so fun if you're a fidgeter. I think this is the 3-band ring. I'm sure this is a current line. And I have a MS watch with a double tour, the double strap on that Magella designed. He designed the double strap when he was the creative director of MS. And that's that. I am in New York. I want to do a kind of a rambly little episode. I feel like we can do a little catch up, and I have a list in front of me, but I don't know if I'm sticking to that. It says it's Cinco de Mayo tomorrow on my pop-up notifications, so it's currently Saturday. I'm meeting my friend in 40 minutes. We're going for Kettle Matcha, which is one of my favorite places to get matcha and hojicha latte. Sorry if I mispronounced this. I don't know what street that is on. I can only tell you it's close to wherever Drake's OVO store is. If you're part of my brandcast, my broadcast on Instagram, I talk about Drake's brand. I feel it's so random that he doesn't make it better. He has all the resources to make this a culturally relevant brand and not just merch. I'm not trying to be a hater. I just I'm confused as to why he doesn't hire someone cool. Because he did that with Luna Luna, this this legendary amusement park. I think they're currently in LA. I don't know where it is. Luna Luna, I mean, you have to Google it. It was this iconic theme park where a bunch of artists designed different rides. There's a Keith Haring ride. It's so iconic. I think Drake's involved in that, right? Am I making shit up? Anyways, if you have intel on why OVO, his brand, is so random merch, let me know. Anyways, that's where Kettle Tea is. I do get a lot of questions on New York, my New York spots. Currently, as I'm here, so I have a long-standing history with New York. I used to live here, and then I come back at least twice a year. I feel very lucky to be able to do this because I feel I don't know, that's my whole life. Even with Paris, I feel most people dream to ever make it at least one time to New York, and I feel so blessed that I get to spend time here. And this time it's really my normcore week. I'm not here for fashion week, but I'm kind of like playing house with my man. I'm here for a little, like under a month, and I'm planning to be here a lot more, which is very exciting. But yeah, I have some New York places. Obviously, I don't know how to make these kinds of lists and guides. I always find this like a little bit cringe. But I can talk obviously a little bit where I'm up to, and I always post where I'm going in the Brandcast, not live posting, safety first obviously, but yeah, if you're interested of like where I'm hanging out and stuff, often it's like tagged or I post it in the broadcast. Today, for example, yeah, we're going to Kettle to get some matcha, and they always, in the summer, they always do the sparkling matcha as well, which is just like matcha and sparkling water. If you're not into the matcha flavor, then this is not for you, but I think it's amazing and it's one of the best places. And then I think we're gonna have a little book shopping round. My favorite, I have two favorites. I love Dashwood Books. For like secondhand books, like designer books, I found like amazing photography books there. I think the owners are lovely, like always chatting with everyone, so knowledgeable. That's on Bond Street. And then my other favorite is Karma. Karma is a gallery that is run by someone I know who's amazing. I think they're now hugely successful in all of these different cities as an art gallery, but they also have a bookstore. It's in the East Village, and I think it's one of the best bookstores ever, also run by like the craziest knowledgeable people. And there's sometimes, like I went the other day to visit my friend who's like running the store, and he brought back books from the back that were like, I don't know, signed by the artist, and they were like $30,000. Like they have crazy shit, but they also, I don't know, they have the newest, like someone photographed the Helmut Lang archive. That book is just there. So I think book shopping here is amazing. And then I love the Dover Street Market, obviously New York. Someone recently asked me to rank the Dover Street Markets. Okay, you let me know if you agree. I don't know if I've been to all Dover Street Markets. Obviously, my OG is the Dover Street Market in London in Dover Street. That was my first one I ever went to, and I mean even now, but I couldn't afford anything, and I just remember seeing like Old Celine by Phoebe and all of this stuff, and just walking through floor by floor and being so mesmerized and dreaming of being in fashion. So I think that's like sorry if I just touched the microphone, my OG baby. Now, well, I think in general, the best store is the Ginza Dover Street Market in Ginza in Tokyo. I just did I just did a 10-day trip to Tokyo a few weeks ago, and it was the best time. The curation is amazing. The stores, like the staff there is so friendly. You have a lot more space. And I think it's the best Rose Bakery. Rose Bakery is always the, where you get your food in Dover Street Market. Like it's such a bright space, so beautiful. The food was amazing. So I think that Dover Street Market is my favorite. And then I would say then I would say the new London one in, what's the market? I don't know the street. Just because it's like iconic. And I also like the Rose Bakery up there. I don't really love the basement floors so much, but I think the ground floor is amazing. And oh my God, tea. We just went into the New York one, and they no longer had the Gucci floor. So did Dover Street stop buying Gucci? Sabato's Gucci? I'm very curious. Wow, this just came to my mind. If you have any intel on this, sorry, I have to take Summer's harness off because she's gonna make some noise with her AirTag. Hi, Shati. She's very interested in this like rubber hairband that I stole from my friend. Okay, wait, I'm already sidetracking. So I love the New York one. It's just like, it's like in a kind of a random location. It's just like Murray Hill, Kips Bay. I don't know, like 34th Street or something. Like there's not much else going on there in New York, so it's kind of a trip, which also, maybe that's also on purpose, like that makes it worth the trip because you stay for a little while. I think also the staff there is super friendly, like such fun people. I think Dover Street always makes the best like curation of cool kids in the city, and kids doesn't mean they have to be young, but just like someone who has their own brand, someone who's involved in arts. I think They always have the best stuff. I don't like the Rose Bakery there because it's in the ground floor, kind of as you walk in. You know, I don't know if you're the same, but I don't like to sit like close to the exit, especially in America. Like you never know who's coming in. Not that Dover Street Market isn't safe; they have security, but it makes me like I don't want to hang out there. Whereas in the London one, it's on the top floor, like, and in Ginza as well. Like you feel like cozy there. And then LA, I like it, and I like the backyard. I just think like I wouldn't take so much time wandering around there. It's all on one floor. It's quite like the trip to go to downtown LA, so it's nice because like you have the I don't know if it's valet. You have the parking there, and you can stay for as long as you want. But I feel like after like half an hour, you've also kind of seen it. Yeah, I don't know if I did my ranking right. You tell me if you're fortunate enough to like seen a lot of them. Let me know which ones are your favorite. But yeah, I still think it's like the best store experience in terms of buying ever, you know. And I'm very excited for the Paris one to open. Obviously, they shut down the tiny one, and there's a huge Dover Street Market about to open. It was supposed to happen this spring, but I feel like I haven't seen any opening parties, so I don't think it's happened yet. I'm sure they're very specific with like what they want to do with the space. But yeah, that's that. Restaurant-wise, obviously there's crazy vegan options for me, but oftentimes I have to say vegan restaurants is also kind of like junk food. Like it doesn't make you, you know, it's nice to sit down somewhere and have all the options in the world, but like it's often junk food. So I don't really go to a lot of the vegan places. I do love Superiority Burger. I don't know if I told you, but I had my Valentine's Day date there. It was so cute. I love the classics, I would say. I love the vibe of like the Odeon, Balthazar, like this kind of stuff, because I think everything in New York is already crazy expensive, so I don't like to eat out. So if I eat out, I want the vibes. I want to like get dressed up. I want mostly my fancy looking mocktail. Like I want the skinny fries. Like I want the vibes, even if I'm just eating salad and fries as someone who doesn't eat meat. But I think, yeah, like, so I like the iconic places. I used to go to Lucienne as well, but now it's not, I don't know. I haven't been since pre-pandemic, but I used to celebrate a birthday there once, like my birthday there. So I haven't been there in a little while. And I think, for example, like something like Times Square gives me major anxiety. I think this is, if I were like 24, this is where I'd be hanging out in my Adam Sandler outfit. No shade. But to me, Times Square gives me anxiety. Like I don't know, even walking through there, like, ugh. And I always used to think I want to live in the Lower East Side. And now it's just like, I don't know, you run into so many people. It's not really my vibe. But so most of the cool bars and everything, I would say, are there. Hotel-wise, if you're going and you have so much money to spend, I think the Bowery is nice. I do think 11 Howard is really nice. That's that. Museum-wise, I mean, I think that is, besides having any creative ever here, I think the biggest perk of New York is the people, right? You have like, I mean, it's everyone who makes it here, you can make it anywhere, like this kind of vibe. It's like the best energy. But I think besides the people, the culture that you have access to here is the biggest benefit. So that you can go to the crazy, like you have your craziest museums with the most insane art at your doorstep, basically. So my favorite museums are very much the classics, I have to say. I love my favorite building in the world. I think I've told you this before, at least on Instagram. I say this all the time. I think the most beautiful building in the world is the Guggenheim Museum, Solomon Guggenheim. I think there's like nothing like it, and I'm a huge Frank Lloyd Wright fan as well. And no matter the exhibition, I love going there. Okay, if you've been there, I would like to know how you go through the Guggenheim. I go in and then I take the elevator all the way up to the top floor and then slowly make my way down. Most people, I think their instinct is just to like walk up because that's like the obvious thing to do as you go in. But I think it's like less exhausting, first of all. And I think you are more in like a flow state. Stores. Yeah, besides Dover Street Market, I don't do that much shopping. I think the department stores are all iconic here. You know, it's so nice to walk into a Bergdorf's, to walk into a Saks. So I think that's all there. My favorite thrift, Tokyo 7, I would say, in the East Village. And I love James Valoria is that Chinatown? Yeah, I guess so, like East Broadway. Those are my favorite stores, but also I haven't been like shopping here. Actually, I bought one thing. Don't judge me. No, I'm not judging myself. I like to buy things like after the hype has died down a little bit, if I buy something new. And I went to the Row. The Row store, I have to say, is beautiful. For men's, like the top floor is not that spectacular, I think, but it's like the most beautiful like townhouse, Upper East Side. It's like 671st Street or something. Quite well, not that far up. I think it's really worth a trip. Wait, I was talking about museums. Oh my God, wait, let me backtrack. Besides the Guggenheim, I love to go to the MoMA, depending on what exhibition is in, but I think it's so iconic, and I think they have, if you go in summer, they have the most beautiful, I don't know, backyard is kind of like not describing it very well, but the most beautiful, like stone garden also seems so cringe, but it's this backyard, there's trees, there's like a little, I don't know if it's a waterfront, but there's water, and you can shuffle around your seats wherever you want to sit, and then I don't know, I like to people watch there, and you see people so excited and with their families or with their lover and taking selfies, and everyone seems so like, oh my God, we can't believe we're here. So I love the MoMA. I love going there. And then I love the Met, obviously. As a fashion lover, I love the Costume Institute of the Met. There is, I think there's a Frank Lloyd Wright room actually, right? Just one of the most iconic buildings in New York. So I love going there, and I'm very excited for Monday. I get to go, am I fidgeting too much? I get to go to the press preview of the Met Gala. Like Met Gala is actually it's a benefit for an exhibition. The Costume Institute has to fund itself. So the Met Gala is raising money for that. And I get to go on Monday morning, 9 a.m. with the other journalists to see the exhibition, Sleeping Beauty, Reawakening Fashion, and I'm so excited. I'm going to wear full Peter Doe, did I just say Doe? Wow. Full Peter Doe. On Monday, I think I want to wear like a runway look. Let's see. So yeah, I love the Met, and then I love the Noguchi Museum. It's in, is that Queens? Yeah, I think it's Queens. It's quite the trip to go there, but it's amazing. Amazing stone garden. I mean, it's just beautiful. I think like sometimes I don't know, it's a little shady. I don't think the people that work there are like that nice. I don't know. I've had like a really weird experience last time, where I showed I have a press pass, right? Like a press ID, where usually I get to go to museums for free, and I showed that, and they were just like, we don't do that here. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure like that worked the last time, but like, sure, fine. And they were just like, no, we've never, I don't know, there's like ways to go about this, right? And I've had a bit of a rude experience there. What else do I love? I mean, and then I think a trip to Chelsea, if you want to see like the mega rich galleries, because you can go into all of these for free, right? Like to go to the, I don't know, Gagosian, the Pace, the Hauser and Wirth, all of these places. I think it's amazing. It's always worth a trip, depending on what's on. Sometimes they're like renovating, right? If they're changing whoever they're exhibiting, so you have to Google before. But I think a trip to Chelsea for that is always worth it. And then I'm a huge Central Park nerd. I love Central Park. I think it's one of the most beautiful places on earth. With obviously, I don't know if I have to say this, very dark backstory, right? But I love going there. That is kind of like my New York. I don't know if I have like that many places that I'm going. I feel like very at home here. I have most of my close friends here, and I don't know, I feel very lucky that I go this often. But yeah, okay, I went to the Row and I bought the naked shoe, the mesh shoe. Mesh, it's not a ballerina. I've been really in my ballerina era though. I've been wearing my Chanels every day. But I bought the Chanel mesh sandals in white. Very rogue move to wear that on the subway in New York, which is disgusting. I'm already thinking if I want to buy the ones in black as well, but it's crazy expensive. Like, if I think about how much money I spent on these, that's double my first rent that I ever paid in Berlin. That's crazy. Yeah, so that's kind of like my New York. What else do we do? I love... oh no, I already talked about this. I just watched Challengers, the Zendaya movie. I'm not a huge Zendaya girl, I have to say. Not like in a hater way, I just can't, I don't know, I don't really connect. but I thought the film was super fun. And it's nice to see fashion moments, you know, it's like the J.W. Anderson costumes. Yeah, I think that was really fabulous. And it made me think of like how many iconic film costumes there are by brands. And I don't know, the one that really sticks out obviously is Fifth Element. If you've never seen Fifth Element, I won't spoil who did the costumes, but it's a quick Google. I think it's one of the most iconic films to watch ever. What else happened? Oh, this is kind of funny. I don't know if I should bring this up, but I woke up yesterday and my friend sent me a link to a Reddit thread about me, little old me. I'm not like making fun of this, but I mean I am, but I'm not. I was talking about this a few months ago with my friends. So there's a thread, oh no, each person has their own thread that's called NYC Influencer Snark. And I have to say, I don't know what snark means. I'm guessing it's not a positive word. Maybe it means gossip. And you know, I love gossip. This can be a whole topic on its own. But I think gossip is like entertaining. But then there's a switch, right? When it goes too much into hate and it affects your life, because hate, I don't think it's a positive thing. It can be quite unhealthy for you. Anyways, I was talking about this with my friend, and there's like all these different threads on like New York City influencers and like why they're so bad or such horrible people or like so uncool or whatever. And in my head, I was thinking, oh man, I'm never gonna have one because I'm not based in New York. 4 months later, I'm like half based here. And I wake up and my friend sent me I shouldn't be so happy about this. And my friend sent me a thread about Brenda, thoughts on Brenda, hashtag New York City influencer snark. So I snark. Is it snark? I feel like now it's like, it sounds like a made up word the more I say it. And I have my own thread. I have to say I'm not exactly popping on there because there's only like 10 comments. So you need to step it up. I am a lover of hate. Obviously not hate in the world, but like hate on like, hate is a buzz, right? Like hate can be a commodity. And I think as a creative, I don't know if it's cringe to call myself a creative, but if you have no hate, you're doing something wrong. You know, you need at least one hater. And I was thinking about this a few months ago. I was really thinking like, oh, I'm so out of my problematic era. You know, I used to have all these scandals because I've been there, trust me. The hating bitches ain't happy and happy bitches ain't hating. I was a hating bitch because I was frustrated. You know, I wasn't getting the jobs that I wanted. I was talking badly about all of these collections. And I was looking left and right at who got to be on the influencer trips and who got this and who got that. I was frustrated, so I was a hating bitch. And the happier you get, you know, the more of a happy bitch you get, the less you hate because you don't have any reason to hate. So I've kind of reached that status, but I've been there, so I understand like where this comes from. Anyways, I was thinking about myself and I was thinking, oh my God, do I have enough haters? I'm being so, I don't know, I feel like you need a little bit of hate to have some buzz. And if no one's like, ugh, I hate this girl, like I can't ignore her, that means I'm ignorable. Like that's not good. So I was really happy to read that I have this hate thread on Reddit. I have to say I'm not a really big Reddit person. I'm never really on there. I don't have an account. I think I only end up on Reddit when I Google something really random that only someone on Reddit has asked before. So that's my only, so I don't know how big, but it seems to be big. Like people hang out there, right? I think. I'm very excited to have my own Reddit thread. As I said, I'm not popping. It's only like 10 comments. And I don't know if they're all from the same person with like 5 fake accounts, right? Like with hate, like you never know. But most of the discourse on me wasn't juicy. It was more like, she's very pretentious, which, surprise, surprise, I don't know. Sure, for sure. And very self-obsessed. Someone was saying like, I listened to the podcast and was all like, me. Yes, this is my podcast where I talk about me. So I'm like, I need like a little bit more interaction. But yeah, I think hate is a very positive thing in this kind of space. I don't know if I'm like wording myself right here. And obviously like any consulting that I do for a client, whether that's a brand or a independent person, I always say like, you don't interact with hate and you don't acknowledge it. So that's always my advice for anyone. You know, you don't want to there's no logical like arguing with anyone that's behind like a fake account, like spreading hate. And obviously there is a like some kind of reason they are frustrated with their life that they like, feel the need to do that. But yeah, for me it was like quite exciting. And now I'm officially New York based, so that was cute. I think as advice, I would say if you really wish someone the worst, like celebrity wise or influencer wise or anyone in the space online, if you really want someone to not succeed, you don't hate on them, you ignore them completely. That's the only way. So because like maybe I shouldn't even be telling you this. If you are a hater listening to this, I hope you continue with your hating spree. But the only way you make someone irrelevant is if you ignore them. And for example, this is also why I changed my strategy online with how I talk about brands. I used to hate on these brands, I don't like this Virginie Viard collection, I don't like this, I don't like this. And now I've kind of backtracked, and my strategy now is kind of the opposite. It is, if I don't like a certain brand or client, I won't talk about them ever. You're not getting mentioned, you're not part of this universe, because even hate is brand awareness, right? And not brand awareness, but brand awareness. If I talk about, the Jacquemus Chiquita bag, maybe in a podcast, maybe like 20,000 people will listen to this and will be like, ugh, yeah, I hate that. But maybe there's two that are like, oh, it's a Chiquita bag, and then they Google it, and then all of a sudden they're on My Teresa and they're buying it for themselves, So I'm just saying this as a random example. That's not a designer I hate, but I refuse to talk about anyone that I don't like, or at least I try to. Sometimes it's very hard. And I also, if someone isn't working with me yet, but I want them to work with me, I also don't talk about them because I want them to approach me. Like, why are we not on Brenda Hashtag's channel? So I think, and I always find this very frustrating with like, what's a good example? Like the Kardashians. There's so much hate, and you are just contributing to their worth. Like, this person is getting paid $1 million and upwards, sometimes less, for an Instagram post with all negative comments. This person is getting paid for that engagement. Doesn't matter whether or not it's positive or negative, It's a flex to buy certain celebrities' content, like a Kardashian. The flex is, I can afford to pay Kim Kardashian this kind of amount for a feed post, Like, that's already, like, the job is done. Doesn't matter whether or not she's converting to sales. So all you're doing is contributing to their worth, And hate often gets a lot of views. So I think this is especially the case with like fashion commentary, It's all of the TikToks and all of the like, we hate this collection, we hate this cruise collection, we hate blah, 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 blah. You're still getting the brand clicks, positive or negative. But anyways, yeah, so I was really thinking like, oh, I'm not buzzy, like everything's so positive. So I appreciate like a little bit of a like negative spark. Also, if you are too loved by everyone, that's like, I don't think that's like desirable, but if you're too loved by everyone, it can really backfire. Like if you're this cookie cutter influencer, who is like a good example of this? I mean, I feel like this happened to everyone. Oh, Matilda Dwarf Avenue. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, there's this like beautiful influencer with an influencer brand, and she is doing so well. And I remember last year, like, anyways, everyone loved her. She had such like no scandal, or at least no scandals that I was aware of, just like everything's great and we're just like clean girl aesthetic, and here's our bows and here's the ballerinas. And I feel like she had seemingly no haters, and then all of a sudden, also I'm not like very well versed on this because I wasn't a follower, not because it's just not my aesthetic, but all of a sudden I'm scrolling on TikTok, and there's like a video with like 1 million views, like taking this girl apart. And this is often what happens when everyone secretly gets frustrated, and then one person speaks out, and then all of a sudden there's this snowball effect, like, oh my god, I always hated her, I hate this clean girl aesthetic, like she's such a goody but blah 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 blah. This is something that happened to her. I also think, this really happened to like everyone. I also think this happened to Emma Chamberlain, who is still so successful and so loved, but everyone loved the podcast. And then there's but secretly, you know, there's always hate when there's success, right? And there's one video where someone talks about like, oh my God, Emma should have just gone to university. Like she's clearly just lacking like discourse with peers, you know, like I went to university and this is all I talked about at the dinner table with my friends, and she's having this discourse alone with herself in the bedroom. Someone made a video along the lines of that, and then there's like 10,000 other videos about it, all with like millions of views, like, yes, I always hated this, like she's speaking out loud thoughts that I've had at 15, blah 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 blah. And sometimes this is what happens when someone is so universally loved and then something happens and just poof. I don't know what's another example for this. I feel like Chiara Ferrani is not a good example because there's like something really horrendous that like happened, but it's always this like everyone loves this person and secretly that builds like so much hate, and then one thing happens. I hope I'm making sense with this. So I am really happy if I have like 2% of, I don't know if it's even hate, but I don't have like a less strong word than hate. So I think it's a good sign if there's like a little bit of like gossip going on or something negative, or this girl is annoying me, blah, 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 blah. I'm sure you've all, I don't know, I always assume like everyone's on TikTok, but I'm sure you've heard the term cringe mountain, right? This kind of idea, if you type this in onto TikTok, it will explain. I also don't know who the originator, my dog looks like she's dead, who the originator of the term cringe mountain is, but basically the idea is that behind cringe mountain that you have to climb, there is the quote-unquote land of cool. But to get to anything that's cool, you have to be cringe. Like you have to put yourself out there, you have to fail maybe a few times because progress isn't linear, right? This idea that you have to climb the mountain of putting out the bad song, putting out the bad text, putting out the bad design, putting out the bad anything in order to get better. You know, this like idea of like putting in the 10,000 hours. And haters will stay in quote unquote basement camp where they boo or like throw tomatoes at you. But the hater is too afraid to do it on their own. And I kind of, this whole like idea sounds cringe of cringe mountain, but I love this idea that someone made this like a visual thing, you know? And I think wind in your face is a good sign that you're on the right track, right? Like, or this like swimming against the stream, getting you to the source, like whatever. I think all of these terms are quite helpful with visualizing like where you're going. And so I was very excited about my little Reddit thread. I hope obviously that people are more active on there because 10 comments is not enough. And I also think the happier you are, you no longer have to convince yourself that this stuff doesn't affect you. I have a very controversial viewpoint on criticism, which is I do not take it from anyone that doesn't know me. And that is very helpful. I don't really have a lot of self-doubt in this way. I have thousands of accounts blocked simply because of like one negative comment, because I'm just like, I didn't ask for this, you know? I will only take criticism from someone that knows me personally, or from like clients, but that goes to my management. But I really didn't ask, you know, it's Instagram, like it's not that deep, or it's TikTok, it's not that deep, or it's my own, wherever you're listening to this, you know, no one's like holding a gun to your head, like listen to brand awareness. If this is like really infuriating you, you don't have to be here. And this kind of attitude with like my own like little dictatorship, because I'm not hurting anyone, at least I don't think I'm hurting anyone with my content. You don't have to expose yourself to like the Brenda hashtag universe. So I block out any criticism ever and only take it from someone that knows me. And so far, that's really helped me, you know. But yeah, I was quite excited about this Reddit thing. What else is going on? Yeah, I'm going to get my kettle matcha. I'm very happy to be in New York and everything's so good. And I have like, I don't want to be this annoying bitch of like big things coming, but I have like amazing job offers and things that are like in the works or planning stage, about to either accept them or not accept them. I'm quite excited for the next few weeks. I'm going, I don't know if I should tell you this. Okay, with money and manifestation, right? Before, flights are freaking expensive. And I was flying to New York and I brought my dog and I wanted to fly business here. And I had like a accommodation accommodation offer from Instagram, and it was like for this like Met Gala thing. They always do like something, and I've always wanted to work with Instagram because, you know, it's meta. Like, I want to have those contacts. Like, it's beneficial. I think I said in the last episode I've never been in contact there with anyone, and they offered to like fly talent in to attend an event and for a bunch of deliverables, and to me it didn't seem like a good deal. And I'd rather not, I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but I'd rather not accept a job because I don't like the terms, so that someone else who's more appreciative of this will take them. So the offer was like economy flights. And I would fly economy privately, but not with a client, like, no. And I declined this because I feel like someone else will be happy, you know, to get these flights, someone who's like younger or just starting out or whatever. So I really don't want to sound ungrateful here. Just for me, that's not the journey I see myself on, you know, like accepting this and then like upgrading on my own. That's what all the other talents are doing. So I was like, you know what? I worked hard. I'm gonna pretend money is energy, and I'm getting myself the business flights. And I flew here, and it was the smoothest ride ever. And now I actually am getting flown, like, so a brand is flying me in for the high jewelry show. I'm sure you'll see this in a few weeks, and getting me my business flights back. So in the end, I'm very happy that I didn't accept terms that I didn't want to, because it was like, yeah, it's one of my dream brands, and I get to go on a little trip with them after New York, and then I'm going back to Berlin. What else? I'm really procrastinating at the moment. I have this O32T text that I really need to get ready, and I don't know why I'm so slow with this. It's a little bit frustrating. Yeah, so that's that. How's everyone else doing? What are you doing this week? I hope this comes out on a Sunday, but I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. A lot of my friends are in town, and I'm happy to have like quality time today. And Summer, I don't know if you're watching this, Summer is next to me sleeping. She needs a little walk. She actually likes New York. I'm very surprised. Sometimes it's a little bit too loud for her, and I carry her on the subway, but she has been really good here. I don't want to endorse this like traveling with pets too much because I think it's very stressful. Oh my god, she's dreaming at the moment. How cute. Yeah, that's that. I have no idea how long this episode is. I will try to make them a little bit longer and more planned out, but I think that's all the gossip I have. One of the designers, I spoke about an experience with them in the last episode, and they were there at the dinner yesterday. I have no idea if they know of my existence or not, but it was so awkward in my head. How funny. Okay, yeah, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for listening to Brand Awareness. Oh my god, I've been approached every day on the streets in New York so far in the last 2 weeks, and it makes me so happy. And like, the people that have said hi to me in the past were already excited, but now I feel like the people that have approached me have listened to Brand Awareness, and I feel like so much more bonded, and like we have like things to talk about, and I don't know, it's so exciting. So whenever you see me anywhere, sometimes I might be like in a little bit of a rush, but I love when people say hi to me. It makes me so happy. And whenever my friends walk with me, and this happens, when we walk away, they're always like, oh my god, they're so nice. Like, I have the nicest followers ever. And I don't know, it makes me so excited because it's always such a positive exchange and mutual respect. And yeah, I feel really grateful to have you. And if you came up to me in the last few weeks, thank you. I know it can be very nerve-wracking to come up to someone. I almost never dare to do that because, like, what if someone's a disappointment, you know? It's always, yeah, that's such an awful experience. So if you came up to me in the last few weeks, thank you. It was so lovely to meet you. And yeah, happy weekend, if this even comes out on a weekend. Sorry that I'm a little bit late. I just didn't really have so much to say in this week, and I was kind of busy. I'm doing like my little tour de France with like agencies here. You know, I have a meeting a day with a different PR agency or brand, kind of saying like, I'm here now, book me. So that's been really fun to, like, I don't know, it's always like meetings like this is always like so much gossip as well, like who's going where, which agency is doing well, what are your nightmare clients. I don't know, this kind of stuff is always so fun to me. Yeah, that's that. And I will, oh my god, my button just opened. I will get my matcha now, And I hope you're well and love you. And thank you for listening to this. And I feel like now this is a really long outro. Okay. I hope you get to climb Cringe Mountain just like me. Love you. Bye.